Gervonta Davis says that after 2025, it could be over for his boxing career. A lot of people want to talk about it, so let me get my say. Gervonta Davis had his press conference for the Lamont Roach fight. I'm looking forward to it. Gervonta Davis is always entertaining and fun to watch. Now, something he said that is currently making its rounds is that after 2025, he could be done with boxing, right? Retirement, whatever. This has caused a commotion, if you will, in boxing circles because Gervonta Davis said this. Ego thoughts. A lot of you are corny. Boxing has a lot of corny people, right? They treat the whole internet, but specifically boxing, they treat boxing like it's one big high school. Real chatty patty and real gossipy. Listen, if Tank wants to retire whenever he wants, that's his call. But the funny thing is this, and the reason I say chatty patty is you notice the people who make the biggest deal about anything Tank says, where reporters keep asking him about Shakur Stevenson, and he said, what for? Why y'all keep asking me about him? The people who are making the biggest deal about that are who? The known Tank haters. That's why I say chatty patty. If the man wants to retire, he wants to retire. Funny enough, Bam Rodriguez recently said that he plans to retire at age 30, which some would consider is young. You know, Oscar De La Hoya, he was probably about 35, 36 when he retired, right? Marquez, 40, 41-ish when he retired. And the difference is Tank is that dude, so people care when he opens his mouth. No one's even really said nothing. No one's making videos. No one's making Twitter tweet posts about Bam Rodriguez, who said he plans to retire early, right? Jared Anderson, Big Baby Anderson, he's another person that said he don't really love boxing and he plans to retire early. But it just happens that Tank Davis is that dude, and whatever he does, it goes and makes his round. So for me, I don't think this is a big deal. I think a lot of people make a huge deal over things that really aren't that big of a deal. Tank's been in the game. You have to understand, see, and I guess the reason why, whether it's true or false, that's on Tank. He's going to decide. People change their mind. Wilder at one point, oh my God, to this day, at one point he was talking about retiring after the Fury loss or losses, and he decided to fight again. Then he said before the Zhele Zhang fight, right? He said that if he loses, he would highly consider retirement. And then he lost via nasty knockout where he made a rookie mistake and got blindsided by Zhele Zhang. And then he said that he plans to fight on. So if you actually know boxing, you'll know this is not anything abnormal. Fighters, it's emotion. You're putting your blood, sweat, tears, pain, years of your life into a craft. You're going to have peaks and valleys, highs and lows. I remember Brandon Rios, I think it was when he lost to Tim Bradley by stoppage. He said he was retired, he was done, and then he came back to fight, right? So again, I don't really take things out of context. I'd have to see more. Maybe that's how Tank's feeling right now. You know, money changes. Like we got to see what the next step of his career is, right? So I think people are overplaying it and making it into a huge deal. Lomachenko had an opportunity to fight Tank, and he's talking about retirement. But again, the usual suspects, the Tank haters, they don't care. They only care when it's Gervonta Davis, because Gervonta Davis is front page headline news. And that's the part that I find corny. That's why I said what I said earlier in this video. So I don't know. I have to see more if Tank retires or doesn't, but he's had a great career and he's entitled to do whatever he wants. He made great money, and you know, I tell you all the time, I can't really tell you when a fighter should retire. My thing is this, I've always said this since I started my career in this game. If your heart's not in it, then you should retire in boxing, because this is a grueling, brutal sport. So at the end of the day, for me, you shouldn't get in there if you don't want to be in there. Like, what was very concerning was Sonny Edwards. He had that fight recently, and his corner's trying to give him instruction in between the rounds. And Sonny Edwards said, he looked up, he said, "Can I be real with you? I don't even want to be here right now." That is probably the worst phrase that you want to hear from a fighter, because your life is on the line and you're talking about, "I don't want to be here." It's not like some regular retail job. No offense to people who work retail. I've worked retail before. But what I'm saying is, if you work at J.C. Penney's, if you work at Kmart, the risk of losing your life is pretty low, unless you get robbed or something, which is, I wouldn't say the daily business norm, in most cases. This is pugilism. So when you hear a fighter talking about he don't want to be here, that's a very bad sign. So, best of luck to Tank. We'll see what's next. Some people think he could just be saying this to hype people up, but I like that he said it, because you guys need to start appreciating fighters while you have them. There's a lot of people who, they're so worried about the gossip and, "Oh, he said, why should he fight Shakur?" and all this stuff, to the point where they don't even appreciate the fighter. It's always about bickering online. That's what I said earlier in this video. It's like boxing is one big high school, and, people crowded by the locker rooms and gossiping. And I'm from a different cloth, so that's not my lane. Yes, we talk about the ups and downs, the drama and stuff, but you see it. You see it online, content creators, low quality content, bunch of clickbait. You click on the video, it's not even truthful, and that's where the game's at. So subscribe to my channel, because we gonna bring it up. We gonna bring it up, you know what I mean? And get this thing back to what it should be. So shout out to Tank Davis. We'll see what's next. He has a fight on deck. A lot of people, again, reading into everything. People are like, "Oh man, Tank's different at the press conference." Bro, he could have just woke up. Like, he not even fully in training camp. He got 3 months until his fight. Chill. Like, people are acting like real girly. Like, oh man, people, he's a human, right? Tank can be in a bad mood. Just because he's a sports player and an athlete doesn't mean he's like above it to be in a foul mood, have a migraine, have a headache, have personal problems, woke up on the wrong side of the bed. And people are like scrutinizing, "Oh, I can tell something's different." And then when fighters say stuff like, "Hey, I want to retire," then to people, they start reading into it and, "Oh, that's a red flag." Man, shut up. A lot of goofy talk in boxing. So if you're with the goofy stuff, don't come to my channel. You're not going to like it.